I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in January, and I'm joined by Hugh Agro of Revival Gold. Thanks for coming to the conference today.
Thank you for inviting us, Gwen.
So the audience here perhaps hasn't heard the Revival story, so I think we kind of have to start at the beginning. You and your team are a successful team of longtime mining executives who have experience from sort of small to large companies, and you sort of saw an opportunity in this emerging gold market that you wanted to capitalize on in this project in Idaho. So tell us about Beartrack Garnet and why it interests you in this context.
Well, first I'll say why I'm back in, because it's as you say, I think this is just such a great time to be investing in the business. And you don't make your money at the price that you enter. You make your money at the price that you sell. You want to have a good entry price so that you can take advantage of these cycles. So that's why I'm in the business, or why I've come back into the business after retiring in late 2009. And we put Revival Gold together with a veteran team. And we focused on Beartrack Garnet because it has several advantages. One of them is it's a brownfield site. It's a past producing operation, actually the largest past producing operation in Idaho. It's 100% gold, and it's got huge expansion potential to it. We've outlined mineralization on 5.6 kilometers. We've got another 6 kilometers of strike that we're going to get into starting this year. So big project, brownfield site, gives us a head start, and it's in the United States. So great geography.
I mean, you're certainly not the only team that is taking an asset that worked at a time and then was put on the shelf, and that happens all the time with big companies for metal price reasons, for corporate focus reasons. An asset gets put away, and then there's opportunity that sits there, and it takes a new team looking at it. So there's two sides to the story here. There's the oxide story and the sulfide story. So why don't you take us through those two prongs?
So we have an oxide story, a leach project, which is a beautiful small project, but it's a small project. If we get to 500,000, 1 million ounces, and we can restart the existing ADR facility that's on the site, that might produce 50, 100,000 ounces a year of gold. But what we've built in the background is this very large mineral system I was speaking of earlier in sulfides. And we think that as we get to a critical mass of sulfide material, it will make sense to build a mill facility. And that's what attracts the interest of the bigger investors and the corporates. And it's what I think our team is really excited about. It's a bit like having your cake and eat it too. We can develop a project that will take us through to cash flow in the relative near term, and then we can develop out the big project for the interest of the broader capital markets.
Absolutely. Two last things I want to touch on. They're actually unrelated. One of them is Idaho. So you're in Idaho. Idaho is a pretty interesting emerging jurisdiction. I mean, there's a lot of activity going on down there. What's your experience been so far operating in Idaho?
We've had a super experience, and actually I'll start with the people. Our general manager is the former general manager for the operation at Beartrack Garnet, and he's just the sort of person that has a can-do attitude, skill sets, having worked all over the world, and really is a part of the fabric of the community that is embraced mining and responsible mining at that. For the betterment of the community. And I think that's typical. So our general manager, Pete Blakely, is typical of the kind of people you run into in Idaho. Very practical, very experienced, and really committed to seeing success with exploration and mining.
Yeah, and the district or the state is really supportive, actively supportive of mining right now, which is great to see.
It is a state that is ranked above a lot of other jurisdictions in the world right now, including some of the more commonly thought of mining jurisdictions like BC, Mexico, Finland. It's really it's a great place to be.
Let's finish off with just sort of share structure and market cap. You have a pretty tight share structure given that you have an advanced asset, I would say. Credit to you being a new company. But in addition, very few of those shares actually trade because of the team that you brought together and the institutional interest and the backing that you have. So it's a very tight structure when you take that into consideration.
I think what you're saying is we've got to work on getting our trade liquidity
up. No, I mean that it's a good thing if you do well.
We're trading at about we're trading in the order of about 100,000 shares a day, And we need to work on building that, which is why it's great to be working with you, Gwen, and to be at this conference. It's an opportunity for investors, though, because we've got strong institutional shareholding. We've got retail institutional analysts who've got price targets at 2 to 3 times where we're at today. And I think it's just for the retail audience to find the story, and we've got to get out and see you all.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for taking some time here to tell that story, and I look forward to keeping up with your news as the year progresses.
Thank you, Gwen.